Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Literally What. Happy almost Christmas, happy almost New Year, and this is also the final episode of 2023. So this is our 10th episode, and whether you've been here from the first episode or if this is your first time listening, what better way to start off going into the new year than finding this new amazing podcast? So I'm super excited. This has been the most fun I've had in so long, and I'm excited to go into the next year with this podcast and see what all it will bring. So I will be off for the next couple weeks going through Christmas, New Year's, all that fun stuff. And then we will be back the weekend of, I think it's like January 6th or 7th. So while you're waiting for the next episode, this is the perfect time to catch up on the last 9 episodes that we've done to make sure you're all caught up for next year. Happy Festivus to those who celebrate. It's an inside joke with my family. It's from Seinfeld, which is one of the greatest TV shows ever. And basically Festivus was one of the episodes where it's on December 23rd. And basically you air out all your grievances with your family, and there's a metal pole instead of a Christmas tree. It's just a great episode. So I will post a clip on it on the Instagram of the backstory, and then you should definitely watch the episode. It's a classic. And so happy Festivus. What better way to put the last episode out on Festivus? And I just can't believe I'm still in shock looking that it's a new year and almost 2024. I love a fresh start, so I'm always loving the start of a year and month and all of that. I think the 1st of January technically is on a Monday, so the Sunday before is going to be the best Sunday reset for me and my OCD brain. I'm so excited and looking forward to it. And I always like to reflect on my past year. Obviously, so much happens in a year. And especially for me, the latter half, 3 months, if you will, of the year have really been a lot for me. I moved down to Florida. I got married a couple weeks ago, which has been so much fun and so exciting. And I also started this podcast in October. So the year for me, looking back, it's so hard to remember everything that's happened. But for me, I think this year really was the year that kind of set the next phase or chapter of my life into motion and just kind of really set myself up for success in 2024, 2025, and all the years to come. I feel like I'm in just such a good, strong place in my life. I have so many more just creative ideas. I feel like I'm in such a clear headspace for this next year. And I've found that me starting the podcast has given me so much confidence. Growing up, I did not have the best of confidence. And so I think just starting this podcast and sharing it with you guys and just getting to sit down and have this time to just talk about life and pop culture and helping you guys out with advice, and just a long-winded way to say that this year has just been so full of growth for me. I've hit so many milestones, and it's just been one of the greatest years, and it basically can literally only go up from here. I'm just so excited for the next year. So now that sappiness is out of the way, I just encourage you all to just kind of take this time with your friends and family to just kind of reflect back on the year. And, you really do grow as a person in a year, and it's just crazy looking back. So anyways, now without any further ado, let's get into some, I know you all should probably know it by now, but some hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice that will have you saying, literally what?
Literally what?
All right, before we get into all of our fun stories, obviously the topic on everyone's mind right now is New Year's resolutions. I think the past few years, I did not make any resolutions for myself because I get very hard on myself when I don't follow through with them. And I would always make just these insane resolutions that just, I'm not going to get done, and I'm not going to follow up, and I'm not going to continue to do the whole rest of the year. So going into this next year, and now that I have this podcast to hold me accountable, I'm going to be sharing my New Year's resolutions. And I also did a lot of research to kind of help you guys out as well on the best ways to actually make good solid resolutions that will help you in the next year, and how to continue to hold on to those resolutions and complete them throughout the year. So when I was doing all of my research, the first thing is to be very picky when you're coming up with resolutions. I found a notebook from a few years ago, and I had probably 15 different things that were so vague. It was like, be better with working out, eat healthier, do this, read like 10 books in a month, like things that I just kind of picked out every single thought in my head and wrote it down. And you can't do that. You have to be very, very picky and be very specific and detailed. So for instance, one of mine, obviously every year I have the, be healthier, be better, just be better in general. No, don't put that down. Just be better. So what I wanted to do is pick one area that I wanted to improve on, or obviously continue to do throughout the year. So under my category of fitness, I just said that I wanted to start getting into running. Obviously, just saying getting into running is very, very vague, because what the heck does that mean? And so for me, what I did is I set a goal of, I want to run a 5K this year. And just before the end of the year, it can be on December 29th of 2024 if I wanted to, but be able to run a 5K in the next year, which is obviously a very, very reachable goal. And if I want to run more than a 5K, or like more than one 5K, I can do that. But looking at that New Year's resolution goal, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do that. It's something that I can actually work up towards. So finding a program that helps you start out slow with running, and then working up to being able to run a 5K, and then, however long, and actually falling in love with running. Not that I ever will fall in love with running, but it's just something that I really have been wanting to get into. I ran a lot when I was younger. I did a few like kids races and stuff like that, and then I just kind of stopped. So I really want to get back into running. All right, my next one is to read one book a month. So this is another example that people are saying online, is everyone wants to read books, but then they make it impossible for them to read that many books, and then they get discouraged and they just stop reading their books, which happens to me. So I did one book a month because I am a pretty fast reader, and I know that it's very possible for me to read a book in honestly like a week, if not less, depending on how long it is. So reading one book a month will allow me to read 12 books. I'll probably read more than that, but it's a very reachable, measurable goal for me. Another one is I want to visit one state I've never been to. They also said to put some resolutions in there that are actually fun. Resolutions, I feel like we make them out to be just like so difficult and hard on ourselves, and like you kind of suck as a person. This is all you need to change. So adding things in there that are actually fun goals to cross off. And I obviously love to travel, and me and my husband both love to travel. We've been to some pretty cool places. But specifically, I want to go somewhere out west eventually. I've never been anywhere out west. It's pretty much always been East Coast for me. At the bottom of Florida or at the top of New York City are my favorite places to go. But I've never been out west. So that is something that I think would be fun and just a fun goal. And then another one, this is more self-care for me. I really want to get a lip flip or lip filler. I'll probably just start with the lip flip. But I've been talking about getting something done to my lips for years now. My top lip is just like not symmetrical to my bottom lip and my face, and I just really want to get something of that nature done to my lips. And next year is the year that I'm finally going to do it. So I'm making it a goal, because I told myself I was going to do it this year, and then I just didn't, because I obviously too much going on, and I didn't want to have whacked up lips for my wedding pictures. So next year's the year, because I'm already married, so there's nothing like crazy that could happen if my lips look botched, whatever. So lip flip or filler, probably just a flip to start, because I think that just does the top lip anyway. I'm trying to think. Oh, another tip they said is just to pick a new one that you don't have every year. So we always have, diet, exercise, read, but I also did put like some fun ones in there as well. So now is your sign. If you don't like making resolutions anymore because you never follow through, just don't write down every single one that's not measurable and is honestly low-key impossible for you to do, and just make it very detailed and set a goal for yourself, and also add in some fun ones. You're welcome. Okay. Oh, another thing, I swear I have seen 20 engagements in the past 5 days. I'm not even kidding. And the weirder part is it's all people that I follow, and I had no idea I followed that many people that have been dating someone or like aren't already engaged. And I feel like this happened last year. I got engaged last December, so I guess I'm also part of that like holiday. Everyone gets engaged around that time, but I didn't realize how it really is like the December, January holiday season, I guess, because you're with like your friends and family, so it's easy to get everyone together to celebrate you. But I also just today, I think I saw like 4. I'm just looking at everyone now and I'm like, now you have all the hard work of planning a wedding. I'm enjoying the benefits of being a married woman and not having to plan anything and just like living with my best friend. But I've seen so many engagements. Like, I was going through to make sure no like crazy news stories popped up, and I was like, oh, they got engaged, so cute. And then it was like, it's just like all these engaged posts, and I'm like, okay, I guess this must have happened last December, and I was just too in my own little head of me being engaged that I didn't realize, because I think this did happen last December as well. So if you are watching this and you just got engaged, so happy for you, congratulations. Stories of the week. Some of these are just like kind of depressing, and I didn't want to make it that depressing, but the end of the episode and the last kind of story category is going to make up for it. But the first one is about Simone Biles' husband, but he is facing criticism after saying that he is the catch of their marriage. I saw this and I was like, maybe this was taken out of context, because a lot of like news posts and sites just like kind of do like clickbaity titles, but I went and watched the full interview, and no, it is not clickbait. He said like some really awful things. So his name is Jonathan Owens. He apparently plays for the Green Bay Packers, and so it's just so stupid anyway. But one of the co-hosts on the podcast asked him basically like, how did you get Simone Biles, like how did you pull her? And then he went into saying how he didn't know who she was. They met on the celebrity dating app Raya, and then he said that he went on Instagram and saw that she just had a bunch of Instagram followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's got to be good. So because she had a ton of Instagram followers, you first of all never even heard of her, she's like an Olympian, whatever. And then what else did they say? He was just saying, so I'm not paying attention. I never would have had a moment where I would have watched her compete. And she messaged him first on the dating app, blah, 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 blah. They got married in April. And they look good together, but that's not the point. The point is that he is so annoying for this. And then he was asked whether he believes he is the catch in the relationship. And then he goes, I always say that the men are the catch, and that he was fighting against his natural feeling of being afraid to commit. And then at the beginning, when they asked like, how did you pull Simone Biles, he was like, oh well, no, it's like, how did she pull me? It was just it was comment after comment, and it wasn't like he just made one comment about it as like in a joking way. It was like he continuously was not putting her down, but basically saying like, I'm the catch and I didn't even know who she was, and men are always the catch. And it made me very upset, because I feel like if you're in a relationship, especially married, and the guy is in a competition with you or trying to compete with you, it's not going to end well, because you're supposed to be equals and both respect each other. And the way he was talking about her, like they've been married like 8 months, and he is saying those things about her, and it's just sad to see, because she's just an amazing woman. I'm sure way more people have heard of her than him, and the comments just did not need to be said at all. It was very rude. And again, I did my research. I watched the whole thing to make sure things weren't taken out of context, but it ended up being way worse than I thought. And he said way worse comments than headlines even said. Like, men are always the catch. Like, no. So hopefully they can, I don't know, hopefully she didn't, I mean, I'm sure she took offense, but who knows where that relationship is going to end. Especially like if I know he's a football player, so when he's done with his football career and say like she's still like competing like in gymnastics, is he gonna like still resent that she is doing better than him professionally? I don't know. I thought that was ridiculous when I read more into this. So to all you men out there and women, both of you, if you are in a relationship, it's not a competition. You can both be great people. And it's not a bad thing to say that your partner is amazing and great and you can't believe you're with them and blah, 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 and say all the sweet things. Like, there's nothing bad that is going to come about you saying that about your partner. Like, you don't have to say these rude things and try to tear them down and make yourself look better. I digress off of my soapbox. But Simone Biles' husband, do better. That should be your New Year's resolution, is to do better when it comes to your marriage and things you say about her, especially being in the public eye. Okay, got me really riled up. So now we're through that. Next story. Gypsy Rose is to be released from prison in exactly 1 week. She gets out December 28th, I believe. So in 2016, she was sentenced to 10 years for her role in her mother's gruesome murder. And if you have not seen the show The Act on Hulu, this is how I found out about the case. It has Joey King, who plays Gypsy Rose. And I watched the show a few years back whenever it came out. And it's so sad. Basically, her mother made her believe that she was suffering from cancer, made her very, very sick. She had her bound to a wheelchair, and Gypsy Rose thought that she could not walk because her mother kept her in the wheelchair, didn't allow her to eat anything. She was fed from a feeding tube, and her mom told her that she was basically like allergic to everything. I think there was some parts where like she took out some of her teeth. It was so awful. She also like scammed people for money, and just like it was awful what happened to her. And so then Gypsy Rose met this guy online, boyfriend, and they eventually plotted her murder. I mean, there's no better way to say it. And then the boyfriend, Nick, did it, and then they were both arrested and charged with murder. And Gypsy did plead guilty, and there's been many interviews with her when she was in jail of, you know, it was hard. Like, she loved her mother, but to be that like emotionally and also physically abused in that way, I can't imagine the trauma and the effects that's going to have on her for the rest of her life. And it says that the first thing she wants to do after she's paroled is meet Taylor Swift. She has also purchased tickets to go to the Kansas City Chiefs game on New Year's Eve. And then she is going to come out with an ebook called Release Conversations on the Eve of Freedom on January 9th. Now granted early parole and preparing to start a new life, she's free to speak directly to her supporters and the world. So she's never directly come out and talked to, like, there's so many people who have supported her and are like, I hope she gets a TikTok. I hope she comes out with like a book about what she went through and all of that. And obviously there is no excuse. Like, she obviously did help plan her mother's murder, and that is so awful. She did deserve to go to jail for that. But also, the empathetic person to me, I'm so excited for her to come out. I think she's 32 now, and be able to live a real life. Like, she's never experienced so many things, if not like all the things that we've experienced. And so for her to not have her mom there doing all the things that she was doing, and to go out and live a life, and I'm so excited for her. And if that's crazy of me to say, I'm sorry, but I'm honestly just very excited to see what she does with her life. I guess she'll be at the game on New Year's as well. So that'd be crazy if she met Taylor Swift. Would they do that? I don't know if they would do that, if that's like not a good look for Taylor's PR. Or maybe it is. I don't know how that all works. I always see these funny like memes on TikTok and stuff about her getting out of jail. So anyway, next story. This is the last, like, this one. This also just really pissed me off. If you've been following Ruby Frank. So Ruby Frank pleaded guilty on Monday to 4 felon counts of second-degree aggravated child abuse. I started hearing about this case a little bit a few months ago. I did not know the degree to which she abused her children until she went to court and everything came out and all the details of the case. And she basically was a family mom, YouTube vlogger, whatever, who would vlog like her daily lives of her and her children, which I do love watching things like that of moms and their daily routine, but knowing her and what kind of a monster she is, I couldn't even read all of the details of what came out because it was so disgusting and awful and just it made me so sick. So Ruby Frank, basically, she's a mom of 6. She lives in Utah, and she would give parenting advice on YouTube. That's funny. And then basically what happened is one of her children escaped out of their window and ran to a neighbor's house. And he, I think, had like handcuffs or was tied or something with him. And then that's when the police were called. And then all of this stuff came out. And so she was charged and did plead guilty to child abuse. And so for the plea agreement, this is when everything came out of what she admitted to doing to, I think she just pled guilty to the 2 youngest children, but I think the youngest boy had it the worst. And it's, I'm not going to read all of it because it is so sad. But basically, she admitted to torturing her son from May 22nd to August 30th by forcing him into hours of physical tasks, summer work outdoors, without water, and repeated and serious sunburns that blistered. He was denied food. He was isolated from other people. He did try to run away in July, and that is when they would regularly bound his hands and feet, sometimes with handcuffs. She admitted to kicking her son while wearing boots. She would like hold his head underwater and then say that everything was being done because they loved him and blah blah. And yeah, awful. Then with the 9-year-old daughter, she went through the same as well, but she was also apparently told that she was evil and possessed by her mother. And so that's why she was being punished, because she needed to repent because of how awful she was. So anyway, she was arrested. This makes me so like so mad. Like when it comes to like little kids, I don't understand how sick of a person you have to be. And so she was arrested on August 30th when the 12-year-old boy escaped, and then they did call 911. So this is crazy to me. I hope she goes to jail for a very, 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 very long time. And I don't know how long she is being charged for to be in jail. Oh, okay. Each charge carries a sentence of 1 to 15 years. Okay, well, hopefully she gets the maximum. And also her husband, the people don't really know how the husband was involved or didn't really know what was going on. He was not charged with anything, I do not believe. But I do know that he filed for divorce from her recently. So I don't know where he was in the whole mix of this. I also don't know how you can be a husband and father and not know this is going on, unless somehow they were separated, and I don't know. So I just had to talk about it because it's news, it's being talked about, and I think it needs to be talked about, and it just makes my stomach just so sick listening to things like that. Anyway, okay. I promise that is the last sad story. Hopefully 2024 brings a little bit more happiness and peace and not disgusting cases and disgusting people like this. So anyway, praying for those children that they somewhat be able to work through everything that they went through. All right. Our next story, I just want to talk a little bit about some pop culture moments because our pop queens are all coming out with some form of music or another. So Katy Perry hinted at her plans for 2024. She did an interview with E! News and basically was saying that she's living a balanced life. They wrapped up in Vegas, and then next year they have got a big year. So I'm hoping she comes out. Katy Perry is probably her. Lady Gaga and Rihanna are like my favorite artists. I listen to their old songs. If I'm in the car, I'm only listening to like pop 2000s. And so if she comes out with a new album, I will be freaking out because I love Katy Perry. I love her so much. And then Ariana Grande, obviously, there's been plenty of hints and little hidden things that she is coming out with an album as well. She did say recently that she's not going to be giving out any like hints or snippets of her music because what was that with my hand? I don't know what's going on. Because apparently people always like leak her music, so she's not giving any kind of like snippets of her music, I think she phrased it as. but that will be super exciting. I think it's been 6 years since she came out with Positions. And then last but not least, Selena Gomez. Selena. She has been describing her new album that will be coming out as a true pop record with an R&B moment. So who knows when that will be coming out. She revealed that in Vogue Mexico, and then also said that there is not one single sad song on the album, which is good and bad. I do love just good old happy pop songs, but it's always nice to have a little sad song to kind of relate to, even though I'm happily married, but it's still fun to listen to like heartbreak songs as well. So that'll be really, really fun. I just feel like pop music has been making such a comeback, and that is my favorite genre of music. I'm very much a pop girl, so I really hope that next year they all come out with something. And I also hope Rihanna comes out with some kind of new album. I am obsessed with her. I love her. I want her to come out with a new album. Please, Rihanna. Please. Okay, our next fifth and final story is not really a story. I just wanted to do a little bit of a 2023 pop culture, every kind of thing that was popular this year recap, and just kind of go through back in time, starting in January and going all the way through and seeing all of the pop culture moments and exciting things that went on. So I'm going to be going through all of the celebrity breakups that happened, all of the celeb couples that got together in 2023 that are still together, going through the top movies, TV shows, songs. I also have the top things on Amazon from 2023, and then we're gonna end it all off with what we have to look forward to in 2024 pop culture wise. So this will be fun. I just wanted to kind of throw this in here as, you know, we're wrapping up and going into the new year. All right, so let's just get into some celebrity breakups. I have one or a few for each month of 2023. There's obviously plenty more that have happened, but I kind of did the ones that I knew more about and that I recognized. So starting in January 2023, Kendall Jenner and Travis Scott obviously broke up, and now we know that Kylie Jenner. I don't know why, but Kendall. Anyway, Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott broke up in January. And then when we get into the couples who are together, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but Kylie and Timothée Chalamet are now together. February 2023, Avril Lavigne and Maud's son ended their engagement. And then Avril got with Tyga, I think it was like 2 or 3 months, and now they're broken up again, obviously. And then also in February, Maddie Ziegler and Eddie Benjamin, which I was so upset to hear. I love Maddie. I also, when I went to the Justin Bieber concert with my sister, her ex opened the show, and he was so good. He has a really great voice. And so then I started like following some of their TikTok videos and Instagram posts together, and they were such a sweet little couple. I love young love like that, and they were so sweet. But they did call it quits, and that is just so sad to me because they were so cute. March 2023, Reese Witherspoon and Jim Toth, and then Ariana Madix and Tom Sandoval. Obviously, I talk about Ariana like every episode, so I had to throw her in there. April 2023, I thought this was funny. Pilot Pete and Kelly Flanagan from The Bachelor broke up. Apparently, they have had a very on again, off again. I guess they got back together. I did not realize that, and then they broke up in April of this year. So hopefully they're done for good. May was Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn, and then Jeremy Allen White and Addison Timlin as well. June, Jason Oppenheimer and Marie Lou Nurk. I threw that in there because I love Selling Sunset, and if you've watched it, and like Jason is like so short, and then he was dating this like young, super tall, gorgeous model, and everyone was like, oh, like making fun of him, and then he was saying how it was all serious, and then they obviously broke up and ended it, but that was in June. So sorry, Jason, you just don't have very great luck with the ladies, I guess. July, Sofia Vergara and Joe Manganiello, is that how you say it? Maybe I'm Italian. It's probably not even Italian. They called it quits, as well as Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez. And then Dominic Fike and Hunter Schafer is that how you say it? I'm awful with names. We all know this. But that was really sad. I didn't realize they were together. They're the two from Euphoria. And then they said that hopefully it's not as weird to film the next season of Euphoria because they're all adults, but who knows, blah, blah, blah. Also, apparently the next season of Euphoria is not coming out until 2025. And I'm really depressed about that. This is the thing. It's like, why Like, you have such a great following of Euphoria, and then everyone's obsessed with it, and Sunday Euphoria nights and blah blah blah, and then you're gonna make everyone wait like years. It's like, what is the point? Then we're all gonna forget about it, and then it's just, I hate when shows make everyone wait so long for the next season. Same with Ginny and Georgia. When is the next season of that coming out? That is a great show as well. August, Britney Spears and Sam Asghari, and then Caitlin Bristow and Jason Tartick from the Bachelor franchise. That was actually really sad to hear about. September was Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Jackman, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. October, Maren Morris and Ryan Hurd. November, Chris Appleton and Lucas Gage, which we talked about. That was like, what, a few months. And then December, this I think recently came out, Mariah Carey and Brian Tanaka. Kendall Jenner and Bad Bunny, and then Cardi B and Offset, which, Cardi B, you deserve better anyway. So we'll see who she ends up with. But yeah, they called it quits as well. So those were some of the breakups. There were a lot of breakups, I feel like, but there were also just a lot of couples I feel like that were moving back and forth, and like, I don't know. So now let's get into the celebs that we never saw coming in 2023, the celeb couples. One of my favorites, Chase Stokes and Kelsey Ballerini. I remember watching her on the Call Her Daddy episode after her divorce, and now she just looks so happy with Chase. So good for them. I hope that they're endgame. Who knows, but I love them so much. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Looking at more, I've been seeing more like posts and pictures of him. No comment. I just can't believe that's who she's with, but whatever if you're happy. Ashlyn Harris and Sophia Bush, which that was a crazy one. This one you probably never have heard of, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater, which I still don't really understand that whole thing, but whatever. And then, like I mentioned before, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. So good for all of you couples. I hope that you stay strong going into this next year with all the holidays. They're all booed up and ready to go. So good for you guys. That's always like, I don't know, everyone's always, I want to be with someone for like the holidays and all of that. And then it's like, I feel like if you start dating though, like right before the holidays, then it gets like so serious, because then it's like, do you go meet all the families, and then like whose do you go to? But it's like kind of new, and then gifts and meeting all the hometown friends, and I don't know. I just think that's so funny. Not funny, but like it would be very stressful to like start dating someone like at the start of all of the holidays and like being around family and friends. But I wonder how that is for celebrities. I feel like just celebrities' lives are so interesting just because they are normal people, but they also just live very different lives. But they also don't, because they're human like us. I don't know what I'm saying. I need coffee. Okay, next let's talk about the highest grossing movies of 2023. I just did the top 3. I had my husband guess what the first one was, and he did not get it right. He thought that it was Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was actually the 3rd highest grossing movie of 2023. Is it grossing or is it grossing? I think it's grossing. I am not okay when it comes to pronouncing words. So Oppenheimer had 950 million, but it had the highest Rotten Tomatoes score of 93%. I do want to watch this movie, but I also do not have the attention span to sit in a theater for that long. Even sitting in a theater for like an hour and a half movie, I really struggle with. So this is definitely a time where I would need to rent the movie at home and then like sit down and watch it, and also like scroll my phone while I'm watching it and eat a snack and have a margarita and play a board game. Like, I just need so many activities while I'm watching the movie. So maybe me and my husband will do that later. Anyway, okay. The second one was Super Mario Bros., but that only got a 59% Rotten Tomatoes score, but it did do over 1.3 billion. And they broke many records, including the largest opening weekend for an animated movie. And it's also the highest grossing movie based on a video game. And then the number 1, which I'm sure a lot of you can guess, Barbie, $1.4 billion. It also had an 88% Rotten Tomatoes score, and it was Warner Brothers' fastest film to cross $1 billion in only 17 days. And that was previously held by Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which I love Harry Potter. So I'm kind of sad that this took over the record. I'm actually really sad about that, but Barbie was good, so I guess they deserved it. But yeah, so I've only seen one of the top 3 movies in the world. Okay, I got some work to do. All right, let's go into the Billboard year-end charts top 3 songs. So this is different than like I think Spotify Wrapped and like the what are the award shows where they do like number one song or whatever, but this Billboard does it where they take the most popular current songs across all genres ranked by like all streaming activity, so I guess like who is streamed the most on different streaming sites. So the number one is Last Night by Morgan Wallen. Number 2 is Flowers by my girl Miley Cyrus. And number 3, Kill Bill by SZA. I love you, SZA. You deserve everything in the whole entire world. I'm so glad she made this chart because her music is so good. I think something happened this year. I forget what award show it was for. It was something where she was not nominated or did not perform for one of the award shows, and she just did not show up because she was, I think, like nominated for every single thing because she does like amazing and like had like the most, anyway, like she's amazing, whatever, end of story, like we all know that, but she didn't show up because they didn't want her to perform and they like told her she couldn't perform anymore. So I'm just glad that she's finally getting the recognition she deserves because she is the best and I love her and her music is amazing. So I'm kind of like just so like on a rant today. I'm just like so like on edge. I think these stories and like just the next year I'm antsy for, and also I don't know, I'm just like so like worked up. I also had an Alani before this, and me and caffeine have a love-hate relationship because I suffer from extreme anxiety. And what does caffeine do? It makes me more anxious, but what do I do? What do you think I should do? Not drink caffeine, right? Yeah, no, I just drink caffeine all the time and then it makes me feel awful. And then you'd think that I would learn, but I never do. I will never learn. And I will still drink coffee and Alani's. I only drink Alani's now. It's the only energy drink I do indulge in because I don't know what it is. It's the only one that doesn't make me shaky and have like brain fog. I still get like a little anxious on it, but it's not as crazy a feeling as like a Red Bull or Monster or anything like that. So whatever Alani does ingredient wise, keep doing it because it's good for us with anxiety. Because enough about that. I'm ranting about literally nothing that matters. Okay, so the 5 most watched TV shows. Number 5 was season 2 of Bridgerton. It had 656 million hours viewed. 4 was season 5 of Money Heist. Money Heist, I started watching the first season. It's on Netflix, I believe, but it's in a different language. And so it's voiced over in English. And I can never follow it because it just bugs me when the mouths and words don't line up. But it was a good, I watched the whole first season. It was actually like a really good storyline. That had 792 million hours viewed. Number 3, Jeffrey Dahmer's Story. 856 million hours viewed. I watched the first couple episodes and then I could not watch anymore because it was just too disturbing. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. Number 2 is season 1 of Wednesday. That had 1.2 billion hours viewed. That was also a great show. And number 1, Squid Game season 1, 1.6 billion hours viewed. That was also a show that I watched that I don't think I would watch again. It kind of scarred me. It's just very disturbing. I don't do well with disturbing TV shows and movies. It was just, if you know, you know. If you've seen Squid Games. If you know, you know. Okay. Let's do the top 5 things on Amazon because we all know that I live, breathe, eat, sleep, drink, whatever you can do to Amazon. Yeah, I love Amazon. I get a package like every day. I think a package has arrived, actually. I ordered some more podcasty things because we're going all out next year for you guys, obviously. So the first is the Fire Stick with Alexa voice remote. The Laneige lip sleeping mask. I love my lip sleeping mask so much. Apple AirPods Pro. The snail mucin repairing essences. I have fallen victim to snail mucin. I put it on every morning and every night. And I actually don't know if it's actual snail mucin. And I don't know what exactly it's supposed to do. But it makes my skin feel great. And my skin has been looking great. So I'm going to keep slapping on that snail mucin. Because it must be doing something. I don't know what, but TikTok and my friends and Amazon now are clearly saying that it's popular and working. So if it says it on TikTok, it's true. Am I right? Okay. And last, Amazon Echo Dot with a clock. So those are the top 5 things. And I only have 2 of them, but I don't really think I need the other 3. So, Okay, now let's get into a little what's going on in 2024, because I love a good number that ends in an even number. 2024 just sounds so crisp and clean. I feel like my life is just going to be so crisp and clean this next year. And I was looking, and there's a lot of important things that only happen every 4 years coming up on 2024. So let's get into it and talk about it. The first things first is the presidential campaign. The next thing is that it is a leap year next year. So February 29th is another leap year, which means you get an extra day. I'm going to say one thing that's going to make me sound dumb, and it's because in certain areas and aspects of life and just things I'm dumb on and I don't understand, and I also don't really want to understand because it hurts my brain. I do not understand leap years. I don't understand a leap year. I know that it's like a fourth of a day and then they all add up together and then it magically appears every 4th year and makes a day. Or is it like an hour, like it's an hour every year that makes a day? I don't understand it. I don't know why we can't get rid of it. Would that like mess up everything? But what's the point of like adding I just don't understand it, and it really confuses me. And anytime I try to think about it or have someone explain it to me, it then confuses me even more. And if you've seen, there's a Modern Family episode where Sofia Vergara, she doesn't understand it either. And they're trying to explain it to her. And like, that's me. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. All I know is I get an extra day to like do something crazy. Like, I should do something crazy. February 29th. What day is that on? Let me see. February 29th, 2024. What day of the week? It is on a Thursday. Okay, well, then I'd have to work. Well, maybe I'll just do something that night. I was hoping it was like on a weekend, but that's okay. So happy leap year to all those with leap year birthdays. I also don't understand that. Like, what if you're born on a leap day on the 29th? Then are you born the 28th of February or March 1st? Or I don't know. I don't understand. And I don't need, you know what? That's another thing that I want to tell you guys is you don't have to understand everything. If there's something that confuses you and anytime it's explained, you still don't understand, it's okay. We do not have to know everything about everything. And that's perfectly fine. We can be experts in other areas. So there you go. Next, we have the Paris Olympics. So the Olympics are next year. I love watching the Olympics. I am an Olympics watching girl, but I pretty much only watch gymnastics because I did gymnastics when I was younger. I also think it's just one of the most fun sports to watch besides volleyball. Volleyball is the most fun sport to watch. That caffeine is really hitting me. And I've only had half of the container. So that's lovely. And then we have the Grammys, February 4th, and Oscars, March 10th, which I will be recapping for all of you guys for your viewing pleasure as well. So 2024 is just like, what an exciting year. There's so much going on in the world. Everyone's going to come together and like watch all this fun stuff. And you're all going to come together and watch my podcast every week, right? I guess last but not least, we have our advice segment. I did only do one today because I knew I had a lot of things to talk about and I didn't want your brain to explode with all of my powerful information and things that I had to tell you that you need to know about. So let's get into our advice for the week. Okay. My mom told me not to get her anything for Christmas because I don't have very much money, but I still feel like I should get her something. Should I get her anything? Here's what I will say, because I too was destined with a mother who says that they don't want anything. They just want you to be happy and healthy and love each other and blah, 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 blah. But you definitely need to get her something. And what I will say is if you don't have very much money, there are plenty of other things that moms love and appreciate that you don't need to spend money. For instance, my mom loves when like certain chores are done without you having to ask. Me saying that as though I live like, no, I live far from her in my own house. But if I was living with her, if I were to like unload the dishwasher or vacuum or do her laundry or something like that where she didn't have to do it and she didn't have to ask me, she would love that. Or saying that you'll cook a dinner one night, or you'll clean up dinner one night, or like a little coupon of like a massage, or just there's plenty of things where you can do it and not have to spend a ton of money. Write her a super nice lovely letter. I love getting letters. Honestly, like if someone wrote me like a long letter about how much they love me, I would appreciate that way more than like just some little random gift that I picked out. So there's plenty you can do where you don't have to spend money. Just write like a sweet little letter and then unload the dishwasher, or do something nice for her, or I don't know, make her like a dance and then perform it for her. I used to do that to my parents. So there's lots of options that you can do. Yeah, well, I don't really want to end the episode yet, because then that's like so sad, because it's like the end of, I guess, season 1 of Literally What. And I mean, there's only 10 episodes, so next year we'll have like tons of episodes. It's gonna be so fun. So I guess I'll just give my final housekeeping spiel to all of you lovely, amazing, beautiful, gorgeous people who are so intelligent and amazing, and I love you so much. Please follow the Instagram. It is literally with 2 Y's, what with 2 T's. Follow it, like it. I always post when things have gone up, and sometimes I post funny memes. You never know what you're gonna see up there. As well as subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I do film and upload all of my podcast episodes. That's the same as the Instagram, literally what with 2 Y's and 2 T's. What else? Please 5-star reviews. That can be your Christmas present to me, is to leave me a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Just say something super sweet about me if you want, about the podcast, something you learned, your favorite story. That would be amazing if you could do that as a little Christmas present to you. No, from you to me. So you should definitely do that. 5-star review. I wish I could like whisper in your ear while you're sleeping. That sounds so creepy, but you should do that. And as well, I might continue the advice segment into next year. I might not, but it is literallywhat916@gmail.com. I am coming up with a few different little segments to add into next year that I think you guys will enjoy a lot better. If you have any suggestions or anything that you think would be fun, you can always DM the Instagram or shoot me an email. But yeah, guys, it's the end. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I am so excited for next year. I feel like this first like couple months and 10 episodes, I've really learned a lot about podcasting, editing. I feel like I'm on my groove, and everything will just get better from here. So I hope you all seriously have the most amazing Christmas, that Santa brings you the most amazing presents and everything that you want, that you have so much fun with your friends and family. And then going into the new year, that you have the best New Year's. Go under a table and eat some grapes. I heard that works really well. Have some resolutions for yourself. Have some fun ones. Have some easy ones, just to feel like you've accomplished a little something. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys back in 2 weeks in 2024. And if you need anything, I'm just a DM or email away. So thank you guys again for joining me this past few months. It's been so much fun. I can't wait to continue this journey with you, and I will see you in 2 weeks for some more hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what? Bye guys.